Unless God has changed a commandment explicitly in the New Testament and we are told of such a thing, we have no right or authority to take any of God's commandments and set them aside. We have no right to say they have been done away with.
You know, Michael, I have to add to that statement. If God didn't change a commandment explicitly in the New Testament, and if God carried over a commandment into the New Testament, then we are obligated to observe and keep that commandment.
I'm glad you agree. Because we find the tithe commanded in both the Old and New Testament.
Do you tithe, Michael?
Of course I do. I just said the command to tithe is found in both the Old and New Testaments, didn't I?
You did. I am just trying to clarify a few things. What do you tithe?
Money. I give 10% of my paycheck to God. He asks for 10%, so I give him 10%.
One more question. How do you give the 10% of your paycheck to God?
I give it to God through his local representative, the church.
Interesting. You say that unless a command is explicitly changed, it must be observed, correct?
Yes. Unless a command is explicitly changed in the New Testament, we have no right or authority to set it aside.
And yet, that is exactly what you are doing, Michael.
What? How? I just told you I am tithing as God commanded.
Actually, Michael, you did not tell me you are tithing as God commanded. You simply said that you are tithing money to a local church. God said in Leviticus 27 that agricultural produce and livestock are what is to be tithed. In Hebrews 7, the commanded tithe is still to be, according to the law. You have set aside God's commandment to tithe agricultural produce and have chosen to tithe money instead. God said in Numbers 18 that his tithe is to be given to the sons of Levi. In Hebrews 7, we are told that it is the sons of Levi that are still the legal recipients of the tithe. Yet, you choose to set aside God's command and choose to give your tithes to a Gentile pastor instead. God set the guidelines as to how his holy tithe is to be observed. You have set God's commands aside and choose to live by your own set of rules. Rules that are totally foreign to either the Old or New Testament scriptures. If God's commands are not to be set aside, why have you set them aside?